so today we're going to look at parallel lines. So parallel lines are often indicated. So parallel lines mean they're running straight along each other like that. So can you see what that actually is happening? This distance, like in between them, is exactly the same all the way through. So they're parallel. But what they do is they indicate them with these arrows on them to show you, to tell the person or the kid student that they're parallel. So can you see here on these ones, can you see the arrow on them? Yeah? So they're saying that they're all parallel. So you'll see that they indicate that with parallel. So what we know that when we have parallel lines, and if you have, then now they've called it a transversal line. Don't stress too much. You don't really ever, they don't use that word a lot. But what that means is when you have a line cutting through them, can you see that there's that line cutting through, that purple line? So when they're cutting through that we know that the corresponding angles are equal. So what do I mean? The angle in here, in there, is the same as in there. So I'll draw a couple for you. So we'll draw, if we have two parallel lines, so they're going to indicate like that. And if we have say a line that cuts through it, what we're saying is corresponding. So what corresponding means in the same sort of pattern. So say here, this angle, see how that would be the same spot if I kept doing parallel lines. So that angle is equal. So say it was 40 degrees, you know that's 40 degrees and that's 40 degrees, okay? Now, also, you can see that this angle would be the same as well because it's in the same spot. All right? So that's what they're saying. Corresponding angles in the same spot are equal to each other. Okay. Now, the other one they're saying here, so if we have a look, we've got the next one, we've got our parallel lines again. Then we've got the line cutting it, and they're saying alternate angles are equal. So if I draw the scenario up over here, so we've got our parallel lines and we've got a line cutting through them. They're saying that alternate angles are equal. So they're saying that this one here is equal to that one. Yeah? Sometimes they say it like it's sort of on the zigzag there. Yeah, so if that was, say, 50 degrees, we'd know this is 50 degrees. All right? And then the last one, they're saying, so these are all little facts we have to remember. And we've always got our reference book, but it's going to help us solve the problems because we know these facts. So we've got our parallel lines, and then we have our cutting line. Now, the angles that are in there together, so over here on my example over here, the square and the circle, they are corresponding, or they're co-interior, they're co-interior angles. And they co-interior angles add up to 180. So angles that add up to 180 can also be called supplementary, all right? So there is ways of getting around. You might be able to justify and work this out anyway sometimes. So say you have parallel lines. So we've got parallel lines here and we have a line cutting it. All right. And so say I said to you this was 70 degrees. Okay. Can you see that here you have a straight line? Is that true? Yeah? And how many degrees in a straight line? Does anyone know? 180. Good. 180. So say you know that's 180. Well, we know that the corresponding spot is also 70. But because we knew this added up to 180, I'm going to say that this angle in here is 110. Yeah? Because it's got to add up to 180. Now, can you see that? Anyway, when I work that out, I can see these two co-interiors, and do they add up to 180? They do. So sometimes you may see it differently and work out what that angle is by using like someone might say, oh, it's alternate, that's why it's that. Someone might be able to see the 180, there's a straight line there, and they've worked that out, and that's fine. So believe me, there's more ways in seeing what's the size of the angle. All right, now just let's look down here on the last one. So we've got our parallel lines here, and they're saying angles that are vertically opposite are also equal. So see this, this C here will be the same as A. And then obviously if we knew what E was, it'd be the same as that one up there. All right, so, and once again, they're asking you to see that if you've got a straight line, remember they add up to 180. So let's just go and have a look at the examples, and I'll walk you through some of them. All right, so it says find the values of the pronumerals in the diagram and write down the reason in each case. So we'll start with A, little pronumeral A, okay? And what I'm going to do, so I'm going to say, can you see there's a straight line here? Like that? Yeah? So what will A equal? 30. Good. A will equal 30, and you can just say because a straight line adds up to straight line adds to 180. Okay? You can just write that. All right, so you now know that angle A is 30. All right, now maybe let's look at, I'm not going to go in alphabetical order because I'm going to go some easier ones first. So see this D, I'm going to do D. Now, is it vertically opposite that 150? Yeah, so I'm going to say D is 150 degrees, and my reason, I'm just going to write because it's vertically opposite. Yeah, that's all you need to write. You're not going to get ever asked to write an explanation. We're just trying to get you to tell me what one are you seeing, how you're seeing it, okay? So don't stress about words. See my little definition up there? I'm using shorthand, not writing out words. Don't worry, I'm not your English teacher. I am not looking at that. I'm just looking at how you're justifying it, yeah? All right, so let's look at, so we've got that one. So we know this is 150 in here. All right, who can suggest maybe, now I'm going to do C here, and I'm going to say C is co-interior with A. So what would that make it? So A we know is 30, and what does co-interior need to add up to? 180. 180. So what does C end up being? 150. Now I justified my answer because I said it's co-interior with A, yeah? But I could have said it's also corresponding. Can people see that? That it's corresponding with that one, the 150? It's in the same spot, isn't it? Yeah? So can you see there's more than one way? That's why you have to just jot down what way did you see, what did you think, and why. So then what are we going to say B? Who can give me a suggestion on how many degrees is B? And what's your justification of that?
Same.
As A? Because of a straight line? Is that what you saw? Yeah, okay. So you can write that because of the straight line. Because of straight line. That's fine. Whatever you write for that. Okay, good. So having a look, find the values of the pronumerals in this diagram and write down the reason for each case. So let's go again. So A, what do we think A is?
110.
Good. 110, why do we think 110?
70 plus 110.
Yeah, so you're going a straight line theory, yeah? Good. All right, now let's do, what can we do? I'm going to do B here, off that one. Now, can you remember when we said that alternate angles are equal? So is A and B alternate? Yeah, so if you go back to that picture, it is. So I know that B is 110, and I'm going to say 110 degrees, and I'm going to say alternate with A. So there was another little reason you could get. I'm going to say C is 70. And I could say, why do I say that? Who can see how can you justify that C is 70? Yeah, so you're saying corresponding? Is that what you were thinking? Yeah, someone said corresponding, good. And that is true. And what one do we not have? D. So what's D is going to be? 70 as well, isn't it? And I might, just to be different, I'm just going to say it's vertically opposite that 70, isn't it? So I'm just going to say it's vertically opposite the 70 degrees. Beautiful. All right. Now, decide with reason whether the given pairs of lines are parallel. Now, I'm going to say for this one A, yes, good, it is. Yes, these lines are parallel. Why is it? Yeah, and that's called alternate, yes, parallel, because we're saying these alternate angles are equal. So we'll write because alternate angles are equal. And what about this one? These two are co-interior. Is it adding up to 180? No. So I'm going to say no, not parallel, because the co-interior angles do not add to 180. Good. Okay, decide with reason whether the pairs of lines are parallel. So, to me, these should be corresponding angles and they should be equal. So, are they? No. So, we're going to say no, not parallel, because corresponding, and that's what they are, corresponding angles are not equal. So corresponding was when remember, they're in the same spot in the pattern, but it wasn't. Okay, and then over here on the next one, are we going to say, are they parallel? Yes. Yeah, yes, parallel. Because co-interior, remember that's the co-interior when they're inside together like that. Co-interior angles add up to 180. Add to my pen died, sorry. 180. You guys can you write 180 there?